Hello, my friends. Welcome to week 10 of Napoleon Hill's A Year of Growing Rich. And today's title is Enthusiasm. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Nothing great is ever achieved without enthusiasm." In the Great Mormon Tabernacle in Salt Lake City, a guest speaker was billed to speak for 45 minutes. He spoke for more than 2 hours. When he finished, 10,000 men and women arose and cheered him for 5 minutes. What did the speaker say to get this kind of reaction? What he said was not nearly as important as the way he said it. The crowd was swept away by the speaker's enthusiasm and most probably didn't remember many of the details about what he said. Louis Victor Enting was serving a life sentence in the Arizona State Prison. He had no friends, no lawyer, and no money. But he did have enthusiasm, which he used so effectively that it bought him his freedom. Enting wrote to the Remington typewriter company relating his plight and asked the company to sell him a typewriter on credit. The company did better than that. It gave him a typewriter. He began writing business firms asking for their sales literature, which he wrote in return to them. His copywriting was so effective that he soon had enough money from voluntary donations to hire a lawyer. His work was so good, in fact, that it caught the attention of a big New York advertising agency which, with the help of his lawyer, got him pardoned. As he walked out of the prison, he was met by the agency head who greeted him with these words, "Well, Enting, your enthusiasm has proved more powerful than the iron bars of this prison." The agency had a job waiting for him. Frequent repetition has not blemished the old adage that nothing is so catching as enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the radio wave by which you transmit your personality to others. It is more powerful than logic, reason, or rhetoric in getting your ideas across in winning over others to your viewpoint. A highly successful sales manager says enthusiasm is the single most important trait of a good salesman, provided it is sincere and forthright. When you shake hands, put something extra into it that will make the other fellow feel you are genuinely happy to see him, he says. A word of caution: nothing is quite as phony as fake enthusiasm, the excessive, energetic, overwhelming display that anyone can recognize and everyone distrusts. An example of how your enthusiasm can carry you on to great success is offered in the career and life of Jennings Randolph. After graduating Salem College in West Virginia, Randolph went into politics and waged such a forceful campaign that he was elected to Congress by a landslide over an older, more experienced opponent. Because of his success in influencing fellow representatives, President Franklin D. Roosevelt chose him to steer special wartime legislation through the House. In a private popularity survey conducted by a group of Washington professors, Roosevelt and Randolph were voted unanimously as the most charming personalities in government service at the time. But Randolph took the lead over the president on his score through his capacity to influence others with a boundless enthusiasm. After 14 years in Congress, Randolph decided to accept one of the many offers he received from private industry. He became assistant to the president of Capital Airlines while the company was operating in the red. Within 2 years, he had helped, with his matchless energy, to raise the company above all other airlines in earnings. Speaking of Randolph's pleasing personality, the president of Capital Airlines said about Randolph, "He more than earns his salary, not alone by the actual work he performs, but more especially for the enthusiasm he inspires among other members of the firm." No one is born enthusiastic. It is an acquired trait. You can acquire it also. Remember that in almost every contact with others, you are trying, in a sense, to sell them something. That's true in all but trivial relationships. First, convince yourself of the value of your idea, your product, your service, or yourself. Examine it with yourself critically. Learn the flaws in whatever you are trying to sell and immediately correct them. Be thoroughly convinced of the rightness of your product or idea. Armed with this conviction, cultivate the habit of thinking positively, forcefully, and energetically, and you will find enthusiasm developing in and of itself, with the authoritative ring of true sincerity helping you to project it to others. So there you have it, week number 10, enthusiasm. And what are you enthusiastic about? Hopefully, you're having a great day and be enthusiastic. I'll see you next week.